it seems to me that VR chat is kind of blowing up on YouTube. I mean, people, producing content with VR chat, their channels are growing rather quickly. Well, as far as I know, none of them have reached in the hundreds of thousands or anything yet. I mean, the channels producing content on it are growing at a pretty quick rate, and as far as I can tell, it has just the game is spreading pretty far. Like, I'm pretty sure a bunch of people know about it. Like, I'm fairly certain that more people know about VR chat than the amount of subscribers there are in all VR chat channels combined. But as you can figure out from the title, I'm going to be talking about why I figure it was able to grow as quickly as it has. I think it's pretty simple, actually. It comes down to the fact that it's just a great platform for memes, essentially. And I mean, we've all seen memes, just these things that start up on the internet, and then they move around, and a lot of people see it, basically, and it's just a joke that a lot of people end up seeing. I mean, and some memes, they last longer than others. Like, some memes, they'll last like a week, others will last months, and I mean, some will even last years if they're lucky. But most memes don't have a very long lifespan. Like, they happen, and then they eventually die out. But VR chat is a platform where people can take the memes and they can essentially perpetuate the memes, and then they can create more memes. Because the VR chat program, or I suppose it is a program because it's something that runs on a computer, but it's a game too, of course. But essentially, it allows you to do a lot of customization with your character if you know how to do the things with the files. I mean, it's not like the only thing people can do is write junk in the air. I mean, there's tons of amazing things that people have been able to do with it simply because they understand what they're doing with with the computer. I mean, some people know more how to work with computers than others, but if you have a good knowledge on how to work with computers, there's almost nothing you can't do with your avatar to modify it in that game. And people have done memes and just really just all kinds of things. Like, I've seen people recreate scenes from like anime and games and things. Like, I mean, if someone wants to, they can essentially just have like a scene from Dragon Ball Z or something kind of just pop up, basically, or they can just take audio if they want. I mean, the amount of things that people can do is just ridiculous. So, I mean, essentially, one of the reasons why VR chat is able to spread around as quickly as it has is because it's a meme machine. You're able to make memes, and then you're able to, perpetuate those memes for as long as possible. Like, you can drag them out. Like, there was the whole Ugandan Knuckles thing. I think that lasted about like a month. I mean, there are still some people doing it, but I mean, it's dead for the most part now. Oh my gosh, and thank goodness it died, because I could only sit there and listen to my brothers, do you know the way? And you know, just screaming of Ebola. You know, you can only put up with it for so long. I'm so glad Ugandan Knuckles died. Will not be missed. Will not be missed. Oh my gosh. But I mean, what really even are memes but shards of human weirdness? I mean, you know, sometimes something silly, such as memes, you know, just kind of brightens your day because you're sitting there enjoying that meme rather than, you know, stressing about life, you know. Just kind of takes your mind off of things for a bit. Memes, pretty good for that. But yeah, I mean, just the fact that, I mean, I suppose the best way to explain it is VR chat's kind of like a lesser Gmod, because you're able to do more things in Gmod, but I mean, it's an older program at this point. I mean, eventually, you know, when things get older and their graphics become worse, eventually people move on to newer things. I mean, if a updated version of Gmod was to be made with you know, better graphics and things, I mean, of course you can get a better computer and I mean, you can run the same game and it'll look even better, and you can touch up the graphics of things and make them better. But you know how it is. I mean, there's always people who are willing to play things. Like, I am willing to, I mean, if I wanted to and had the money to, I would not mind buying a, you know, the first PlayStation and playing, you know, the first Metal Gear game or something like that, because, you know, I don't mind, you know, playing a game with graphics like that. Essentially, I mean, there are some people who can go back and play these games that have terrible graphics, but there are other people who just can't stand it, and they'll have to wait for the remake to experience the story, because you know, they just can't handle pixelation. You know, there's some guy that's sitting up there and he can't handle playing Resident Evil 1 or Resident Evil 2 until they go and make a remake that looks good enough for him to be like, oh, this doesn't look so terrible. It's like, oh my gosh, I can see the entire face rather than like a couple of eyeballs. Oh my. Sorry about that coughing. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. I mean, I could take it out, but I kind of don't feel like it. So, you're just gonna have to deal with it. I apologize, but you know how it is. You can't stop bodily functions. I mean, you're gonna cough, you're gonna cough. You're gonna barf, you're gonna barf. You know, and such things. But yeah, that's really what I think it is. Because, I mean, in Gmod, you could do basically anything. In VR chat, you can do a lot of things, but it doesn't have as many tools to do stuff as Gmod has. And, I mean, you can do tons of things. Like, I mean, people are creating even more tools in the game for use. So, I mean, I don't think it has as much possibilities that you can make from it as you can with Gmod. I mean, I could be wrong, because I don't, you know, play VR chat myself, mostly because, excuse me. I apologize with all this this burping and coughing. I mean, I hope you didn't hear the burp, but I mean, it happened. Anyway, because I just really don't feel like editing it out just right now. But yeah, as I was saying, I do not think that you can do all the things in VR chat as you can do in Gmod, but I mean VR chat has better graphics because it's a newer game. I mean, they might remake Gmod at one point, but that isn't necessarily going to kill. It's not necessarily going to kill VR chat if Gmod was remade. Basically, because people would still play the old Gmod, and some people would play the new Gmod. Of course. But yeah. Just simply, you can do tons of things. I really don't have much more to say about it. Because, I mean, someone who actually uses it would be able to tell you some of the kinds of things you can do. I mean, I can only tell you some of the things I've seen people do. But, that's about it. I mean, even if I had the ability to play VR chat, I don't have the skills to make some of the things that other people have, made, basically. It's like, I'd just be basic. It's just super basic. But I mean, I don't have VR. I mean, you can play it without VR, but I don't even have a computer that could run it, essentially. It's like, if I tried to run that on what I've got right now, the thing would blow up. But anyway, that's, I've said all I wanted to say about it, because there's not really much more I could say. So, if you liked this, you can go ahead and give it a like. But, I'd prefer if you disliked it, since I was too lazy to edit the coughing out, So, like, just don't like this video. Just dislike it. Everybody dislike this video. I want, just everybody. Maybe I can get to, like, 10 dislikes. That would be, like, great. Because that would be more than any video's ever gotten, of course. But, I want to see 10 dislikes. That's what I really want to see. Anyway, I mean, if you enjoyed this enough to subscribe, I mean, you can do that. I don't know why you would want to subscribe from this video. I mean, if you wanted to subscribe because of another video, I could see that, but I can't see why you would for this video. But I've been going off on a tangent again, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this right about here.